Hello. Let me just say, for starters, that this could be a crazy stream. So, my wife bought a new car, or we bought a new car, but it's my wife's car. And I had to take it out to get something looked at, just something minor, the radio actually. Um, Sorry about this. Anyways, I got to take it up to the garage, and I don't have my little hookup to hook my phone up for the best angle. And although I have no idea what reception will be like, because this isn't a trip that I normally make, so I could lose you. If so, But hey, man, if I got to take a drive on my day off, might as well talk to my great YouTube fans. So thank you for being here. So the first thing to say is I'm doing a debate this evening on Dylan Burns TV. I just put a live stream up. Check the link out in the video. Hopefully it's there, but it's just on Twitch. I'll probably go live right before I do his stream and just let people know. This car drives way better than mine, I can tell already. But, so, yeah, I don't know. The topics will be all right. It's not what I wanted. We're talking about the statues, DACA recipients, refugees, etc. So I guess it'll be worth checking out. Should be fun. So last night I went on at my friend Prime K's Twitch stream. And I was just going on for 10 minutes or so. It ended up turning into 2 or 3 hours. Can y'all hear me, by the way? I hope. I'm loud enough. I hope you can hear me. If it sucks, it sucks. Don't worry, I won't judge you if you're not listening. I just, like I said, it's just a little. I was on this live stream last night, and I don't know what the political affiliation of were the people that I was discussing things with, but it kind of was all over the map. But the general theme that I was trying to get across is the corruption of our government. And most of these people were saying, no, it's not corrupt. So, for example, they were adamant that Tulsi Gabbard was not screwed over by the DNC. They were adamant that the politicians that both the RNC and the DNC put out are the ones we deserve. They're adamant that the media is not biased. They're adamant that all of these wars and stuff we go to, there's no proof that they're illegitimate. They think that Congress, even though it has a 16% approval rating, is on the up and up, and they're trying to push forth the will of the electorate. And I just always find it amazing. Like, I think that some people are so interested in winning a perceived debate that they will deny obvious things. Like, it is not a right or a left-wing position to say the following. Congress sucks and basically doesn't do anything for the people. I mean, all polling shows that that's the case. Now, are there little things here or there? Are there a few good people in Congress if you're a Republican or a Democrat? Yeah, maybe you could say that. But the idea that this system is not corrupt is just mind-blowing. And then we started to get into the FBI's actions when it came to Russiagate and everything. Like, it actually got to the point where I was like, for example, we know that the FBI got some evidence in the form of an email by the CIA. They altered that evidence to say the exact opposite of what it was intended to say. And then they used that to get a FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page. And this guy's like, well, actually, I'm a law student, and actually, you know, even though that might not be, the best thing to do, there's no reason to do it. The way the laws are written, maybe that's not a crime. Yeah, it's a crime. Intentionally manufacturing evidence by law enforcement to spy on a presidential campaign, that's a crime. And, you know, the person kept saying, well, I'm not saying it's legitimate. I'm just saying I don't know if it's a crime. And this is something I see often from people, particularly on the left, that are trying to downplay the corruption we've seen for the past 3 years against Donald Trump and against conservatives. They'll jump through any hoop, right? It's like they're a juror, and they're like, no, I need 99.9999% certitude that something corrupt happened before I'll admit it's corrupt. And so, every single thing, there's a plausible explanation, unless we had, I mean, literally, when you had Rosenstein, who has no love for Trump, he admitted, had I known what was hidden from me by my FBI agents, I would not have signed this FISA warrant. Even that's not enough. Oh, the warrant could have been legit. It still could have been legit. Even though we now know the dossier that was used to get the warrant was Russian-based disinformation that was never verified. Well, it still could be legit. It could be a legitimate warrant. By the way, if someone could type to me, is my car noise too much while I'm doing this? I hope not. But it just becomes nonsensical. And when I debated that that Twitch streamer Destiny, it's the same type of thing. It's like there's a refusal to admit obvious things so that you could potentially then get some sort of advantage in a one-on-one discussion. Now listen, I'm as competitive as the next person, and I do apologize for us on that stream last night through some frustration for accusing me of being a liar and stuff like that. Thank you. Yeah, accusing me of being a liar and stuff like that. So I did act a little more frustrated than I normally do. Plus it was 3:30 in the morning. But one of the things I wanted to mention is it seems like these people, they want to win a debate, and I like winning as well. That's what I'm saying. I was frustrated. I want to win and look like I'm doing good. But more than that, I'm trying to get to the truth. I'm trying to hear people that might disagree with me. And so, for example, the first time I debated this Destiny guy, it was on impeachment. And I said, well, here was my argument on impeachment. Trump was being impeached because supposedly he used a quid pro quo to investigate his political opponent. And my argument was, I don't care if it's a quid pro quo. If there's a reason to investigate Biden and Burisma, then there's no case for impeachment. And we know that this is the case because Obama's administration investigated Trump the whole way through the election. So if it's illegal to investigate your opponent, then it would have been illegal for Obama. But no one said that. They said, well, no, there was good reason to investigate Trump. That was the argument. So the same would be true of Trump. If Trump's investigated Biden and there's no good reason, okay, there'd be a problem. But my argument was, I will prove to you that there is a reason to investigate Biden and his quid pro quo when it came to Ukraine and his son, Hunter Biden. Destiny, the person I'm debating, is saying, no, that's not what the impeachment's over. I was like, what? He's like, no, the impeachment's just over. Congress voted for aid, and Trump held it up a little. And I was like, but that's clearly not what the impeachment's about. No one's saying that. Yeah, that's what it is. And I was like, but literally every president does that. That's whataboutism. And so they make it about something that's so out of touch with reality that they could say, oh, you don't have a good argument against that. So I guess if your argument is any time that the executive branch slightly delays aid to another country that was voted on by Congress, they've committed a serious crime and could be impeached. I guess if that makes you feel like that's what's going on, of course you didn't say anything when Obama did it, or when Biden did it, or when Bush did it, or when Clinton did it. But yes, this time we have to impeach Trump over this. I mean, it's nonsense. It's clear that this is just a debate test, that you're trying to avoid reality because you know that you don't have the arguments in reality. It's like when the past couple weeks when I've been debating people on Black Lives Matter and all these riots and protests, and they'll say 99% of the protests are legit, and the riots, the only time the riots occurred is when the police fired tear gas. So everyone who's rioted, it's just a result of the police firing tear gas. That's just not true. What did police firing tear gas have to do with beating a shop owner to death in Dallas? So you're a peaceful protester, police shoot tear gas, and you're like, I know, I'm going to go beat a business owner to death. Everybody knows that's garbage. Or how about this claim? They say, oh, there's nothing racial about this. None of these protesters are saying anything racial. They're literally writing defund white people, kill whitey. Oh, no, that's not what's happening. And so there's this denial of reality. Or I've had debates for years now where you talk about conservative and to a lesser extent, but also true, left-wing voices that aren't mainstream being censored by tech companies. No, they're not. And so it's this willful denying of reality. I mean, last night it was incredible the stuff. You know, I hear this argument all the time. It's okay that the mainstream media is doing what they do because they're just there to make money. So no problem. Hey, thanks, all. Sorry I can't read the chat while I'm driving. By the way, this is my wife's new car I'm taking to the garage. Pretty smooth ride. And by new, I mean used. Because we're not in a financial position to buy new cars. But it's a tactic that I see employed often. Just a straight up denial of reality. You know, for example, I'll tell you a debate I had, not on video, but on a blog. I was trying to get people to define their terms. Can someone please, this was back in 2017, explain to me why it's necessary to investigate Trump? And this is what I was told by a left player. We have to investigate Trump because all of his shady connections to Russia. That's it, right? So Trump has shady connections to Russia, therefore we need to investigate. And I said, okay, so the standard is, if we have a candidate or an elected official who has a bunch of shady connections to a foreign adversary, we need to investigate. Yes. Okay, here's Hillary Clinton's shady connections to Russia. Well, that doesn't count. Why? Well, what I meant was it's just Trump's connections that I'm worried about. Do you see what happens here? Just a straight-up denial of reality. Hillary's shady connections aren't really shady connections. They're legitimate connections. Or how about we literally had Obama and Biden. We now know from Peter Strzok's notes, personally want the investigation of Michael Flynn, based on transcripts that we can all read, that shows Flynn's big crime was this. Hey, Kislyak from Russia. Yeah, I know that Russians are probably upset that Obama issued sanction and kicked diplomats out, and I know that you have to retaliate, but can you just not retaliate too much? We would like to, when we come in as the administration, we'd like to try to have better relations with you and work on dealing with Islamic terrorism. That's it? That's the crime that Michael Flynn committed? Joe Biden's like, Logan Act. Now, Obama knows that his incoming administrations did the exact same thing, and I have no problem with that. None at all. Let's say Joe Biden wins the election, and Joe Biden says to himself, I don't like the adversarial context that Trump's put us in with North Korea, say. And so Joe Biden sends his national security advisor to talk to someone in North Korea over the phone, and just says the following. Hey, North Korea, we know relations have been shaky with Trump here in the last year of his administration. Don't, launch any missiles or retaliate. Give us a chance to talk to you when we get in office. I would say, I don't like Joe Biden. Perfectly reasonable. So they're advocating to not harm the United States and saying we'd like a chance to have good relations with you. Yep, perfectly reasonable. Have no problem with that whatsoever. But according to Obama and Biden, that was a reason to investigate Michael Flynn. That was a violation of the Logan Act. It's all denial of reality. It's the same with the impeachment. Anyways, I just brought up because it was 3:30 in the morning last night, and I was getting frustrated. But it's like pulling teeth. It's the most frustrating conversation you'll have. I mean, when I literally have to go through, here's exactly what the FBI did just in getting the FISA warrant against Carter Page. Well, I'm a law student, and you don't have any proof that that's illegal. They literally faked evidence. This is the equivalent of throwing a bag of coke in a suspect's car and saying, I see you have drugs there. You're under arrest. Well, but it could. There are some legal interpretations that this could be legal. Who cares what some fringe legal interpretation says? The question isn't even, my point wasn't the illegality of it. It was the corruption of it. It is corrupt. Period. And by the way, I said repeatedly, you would never, the left winger that's doing that, would never give Trump that benefit of the doubt. So I kept saying, okay, then we set the precedent. It's okay for Trump to pay someone, have his team pay a ally they have in a European country to go to China to get a bunch of evidence that Joe Biden likes getting peed upon, that all of Joe Biden's team is working on behalf of China, and then Trump's team could spy on Joe Biden, and they can even make up evidence if they want. That's the precedent that's set. Well, I'm not saying it's good, but you're intentionally misleading. Or actually, Congress it's working exactly as planned. It's engaged in the will of the people. Why is its approval at 16%? Well, it's because the Republicans are obstructing. I mean, it's just nonsense. And, if I can say, even though, I'll be doing a debate tonight on Dylan Burns TV on Twitch.com or Twitch.tv. You can check out the last live stream I did real quick before I started this one. Link will be in the description. So that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it's supposed to be a 4-on-4 debate. I don't mind they sent the topics out, and I agreed to debate the topics, so that's what I'll do. But the topics are, should we take more refugees? Should the voting age be lowered? Should we give DACA recipients citizenship, basically? And should Confederate statues be allowed to be up? Now, the statue issue, I think, is slightly relevant, but for goodness sakes, our country's burning down. We have cultural Marxists that are canceling everyone. The Democrats are proving that basically they cheer for political violence and they'll do anything to win the election. The Republicans are proving that they're completely worthless and won't protect you whatsoever and should all be voted out, as far as I'm concerned as well. And we're going to be talking about refugees. I mean, this is a strategy that's used. Again, I'll go back to what I said in my live stream the other day. Imagine that we had a foreign ally, right? Someone that we've had both Republicans and Democrats say the leadership of this country is great, they're seeking to end corruption, etc. Right? Imagine that we had a foreign ally, let's say India, right? And so, Democrats and Republicans both agree India is an important ally. We've sent India money to help them because they're an important ally in the region, and the leadership of India is on the up and up. It's legit. Now imagine that India comes out tomorrow and they say, this is India's head prosecutor. We have evidence that Donald Trump engaged in incredible extortion attempts in India to prevent us from investigating his family and to prevent us from investigating corruption in his administration. They used bribes and other extortion attempts. Imagine that happened. There would be impeachment hearings this morning, 5 minutes after that hearing. The media would go nuts 24/7. It would be the only story right now. Would it shock you to learn that our ally Ukraine, that was so important that all the Democrats said, we have to send them all this money, that the new leader Zelensky was so great that all the Democrats and Republicans praised him as, this is a guy that's legitimately trying to fight corruption. Zelensky's head prosecutor came out June 22nd and gave that exact press conference about Joe Biden and the Obama administration and having proof of their corruption, bribery, and extortion. Yeah, I challenge you, find an article in the mainstream media about this. These are lies by omission. It's when you talk to people and you're like, look at these riots, look at the insane destruction going on in our country. And they say this, what about all the peaceful protests? Why don't you care about the peaceful protests? What is there to care about? Everyone agrees peaceful protests are perfectly legitimate. So what are we talking about? What time is it, though? That's the equivalent of, I'm outraged at the murder of George Floyd or the death of George Floyd. What about all the cops when they pull people over that nothing bad happens? Yeah, I guess that's good. We're talking about this guy that was murdered here. The double standards, the deflection, the lies by omission are staggering. And so one of the things that riots occurring all over the country doesn't matter. What's the top story on all the Democrat media channels and even Fox? Well, Trump took a photo op in a church. How many times have the best people that I hear arguing against the cancel culture Marxists that we see right now that are taking over the country comes from left-wing people like Brett Weinstein, Eric Weinstein, Sam Harris, Joe Rogan, people like that. All of them start off with the assumption, well, Trump's a dictator, Trump's horrible, blah, 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 blah. And no one's there to defend. It's mind-blowing. And Tucker Carlson is like the only one I watch on the mainstream media. His monologue last night, again, is spot on. And again, it's stuff I've been saying for 4 months. Ever since March. I guess that's not 4 months. I said, where are the Republicans? What good is it to vote for the Republicans? If they're going to let these lockdowns happen without question, what good are they? Every week I say on my show here, every week I say on my radio show, where are the Republicans? What are the Republicans doing? Even if you hate Trump, at least he's speaking up against the people trying to overthrow our country. Where are the Republican allies? Where are they? They're nowhere. Nowhere. They're taking away your right to protect yourself. They're taking away your right to have police and government protect you. And where are the Republicans? They're destroying history. Where are the Republicans? Your tax dollars will continue to go to places like NPR, will continue to go to universities so that we can train more and more people to hate this country and overthrow it. And where are the Republicans? And come election time, they'll have their little fundraisers with their little dinners. I know, my guy, Glenn Thompson, that's right, Glenn, I'm calling you out specifically now. He'll have a little fundraiser here in Clarion County where he'll meet with the Clarion County Republicans and he'll say, oh, yeah, what's happening here is terrible. But he doesn't have the nerve to say anything publicly. He'll say whatever he wants when he's around his, constituents. And they'll all be gleefully voting for him. Oh, yeah, great guy. Oh, he stood up for this country. Really? What do you do? Can anyone explain what any of the Republicans are doing? Because they're cowards. Well, some of them probably are just corrupt. But the rest of them are cowards. All they care about is winning their election next time. That's it. That's all they care about. Oh, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to potentially have people call us racist. So we're just going to agree. Black Lives Matter, yeah, great, yep. Or we'll just be silent on it. And they allow the left to control the narrative. So tonight I'll be discussing, should we lower the voting age? Not what is going on with the overthrow of this country. Won't be discussing that. I'm okay. That was just the phone that fell. It's just incredibly frustrating to me. The corruption is unbelievable. Unbelievable that we see. Nothing's been done. And then I got people on the right, they were giving me guff during the lockdowns because I said, why is Trump supporting the lockdowns? Oh, shut up. Trust the plan. Trust you. Trust Trump. When I would do videos saying, we have the IG recommending that Comey be criminally prosecuted. Trust the plan. It's a great thing that he didn't prosecute Comey. We'll get him later for something else. How's that working out? And still, I see people over and over saying Trump's going to win in a landslide. I'm not so convinced that even if the election was fair, that Trump would win. And it's certainly not going to be fair at all. Again, I talked about this last night. Robert Epstein, a professor, said that Google itself has the potential to swing 16 million votes. 16 million. You think Trump wins if 16 million votes switch to the other side? I don't. That's just one institution. That's how powerful they are. What have the Republicans done? They've done anything to rein in Google or YouTube? No. Twitter's faster than ever censoring conservatives. Got Carpe dunked them the other day. They're going to keep going. And then when you talk to people on the left, they go, oh, I thought you were for free markets. This is good. Go start your own platform. Meanwhile, when Cambridge Analytica, so it's okay for Facebook to censor conservatives and do whatever they want, but if you have a firm like Cambridge Analytica that uses Facebook data, that's corruption all of a sudden. That's how insane these people are. It's unbelievable. The willful cognitive dissonance. I don't mind the evil corporations, Last night we were discussing this. Oh, we got to get money out of politics. And I was like, but look, that's only part of the problem. Let's say we remove every dollar out of politics. The mainstream media, everyone admitted that them covering a candidate favorably is like a financial donation. We can't get rid of the media. And if the media decides we're all going to favor these certain people and there's no other money allowed in politics, in effect, you've just given the media almost total control over who wins elections. Because their, quote, money in the form of coverage will still exist. So how do you solve that problem? I'm not saying government regulate media and stuff like that, but it's a significant problem. When you just say, if we just got money out of politics, everything would be solved. You don't think about that, right? And then the same people that are saying, well, the problem's money in politics because people are buying influence. Then they're like, well, the tax cuts, Republicans, and they're the party of Wall Street, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, actually, that's not true. We can see that Wall Street almost 2-to-1 financially supported Hillary Clinton. In fact, the top 10% of people of wealth in this country overwhelmingly support Democrats. So if your argument is people are buying influence, and that's what allows these corporations to keep getting richer and not pay their fair share in taxes, guess what? Guess who they're supporting? Democrats. And they're like, oh, yeah, but the money that they're giving Democrats isn't to help themselves. So they went in 3 minutes from arguing, we got to get money out of politics because people are buying influence too. Oh, but if it's the Democrats, then actually there's a different explanation for why these corporations are giving money. How do you have a serious discussion with people like that? Either money in politics is buying influence and should be avoided, or it isn't. You know, you come to the conclusion, well, when the Republicans do it, it's bad, but when the Democrats take the money, it's good. I mean, it's utter nonsense. Or, well, okay, I admit the Democrats do it, but it's not, it's not as bad as the Republicans. And they kept accusing me of being partisan. I'm like, why am I being partisan? I'm saying both parties suck. And I'm the partisan? You're saying that I'm partisan for pointing out that the Democrats are corrupt liars. When I'm admitting to, for example, I was like, here's a concession I'll give you. On one hand, the Democrats are wrong because they think that their party, they'll go after these corporations and they'll make sure everyone gets their fair share. That's a lie. They don't. But on the other hand, Republicans are the party that say, we're going to rein in spending. We're not going to allow massive government spending. And they lie about that. Trump spent at a faster pace than Obama. So, hey, I'm at the garage. So, I'll get in touch with you guys here later, and I'll let you know what's going on. But thank you so much for listening. My ride's here, too, so I'm going to leave the car here at the garage. But I really appreciate it. You guys are the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Everyone, have a good one.